speed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. So loud as the hours pass, we're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay young forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.
I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all
Good morning, beautiful people. Butterroll Boutique is here. Waiting for a live stream. Good morning, Kevin. Tuber chat, connect and grow. I saw Karen Godiosi is here. Good morning, and people will join as we go. It's been a weird spring. Been so busy, and I've been lazy. I've been filming a lot. I have like 4 videos filmed, but the weather was so nice that I didn't want to be stuck inside. So I've been out fishing. I've been out in my garden, around the property here, watching my food forest coming out of dormancy. Pretty much everything survived. I have a few hair grafted apple trees that didn't make it. And the only reason they didn't make it is because I didn't remove the cambium properly. So I will make a video on that. I want to go and air graft some more apple trees, and I will make a video that will probably just come out in September, because I want to do a video where I show what I do and then show the result in the same video. And I struggle with those videos because I always like to put the stuff out and get people to come back for an update. But I realize that when you're watching a video like this, especially if I want to catch some new viewers, they might not necessarily want to come back for a second video. So I gotta find a way to put the video aside, do the editing if I have to, and keep the second part for later and just get it out when it's time to get it out. Hello everyone, I'll play but not really here. That's awesome, Marilyn. Little Homestead by the Beach. Thank you so much. Chris Creation Fun. Good morning. How's it going? People saying hi to each other. So yeah, I have about 4 videos filmed. One is an update on my garden / survival seed 2025. The video's been filmed. Everything is on my computer. I just need to do the editing. I have a video about the nicest shoes that I got from Fitville. And I don't like to promote stuff all the time, but at the same time, when they offer me a free pair of shoes and I just love those shoes, I'm not going to say no to that. I also got another garden tool that I was in need of. I really needed one, and the fact that they're giving me one, I'm going to be able to test it out properly. I also have a video done on fishing. I've been fishing a couple of times with my kids, and yeah, I'm trying to learn, not to learn. I have the knowledge already. It's just to find the time, I suppose, to do more B-rolls in my videos. It's not that it's complicated. It's just that you have to remember to do it. Like if we go fishing, I want to have a few images of me arriving in my vehicle. So that means I have to go put the camera back up and arrive again, and then take the footage and make a little storytelling with that. If I go for a walk in the woods, I want to have the camera at a few different spots showing that I'm walking and arriving and doing different things. It's just, I don't want to say time consuming, because it's not that it takes a lot of time, but especially when we go fishing, we like to arrive there and start fishing as soon as possible. So I get the stuff out and I just start fishing, and then I start filming. Have been talking about B-rolls too, always forget to. Yeah, and it's really important when you're telling a story. There's a few channels from the Quebec side, French channels that I watch, where they go camping and stuff. And everything they do, they have different camera angles, and it's just so relaxing to watch. It's so peaceful. Um, if you're interested in watching some of those videos to have a good idea, there's one that's called Fish Eye Mike. There's another one that's called Aventure Al. There's also Boreal Camping. There's another one, Joe Explorer. There's what's his name? Let me see. Let me see if I can share them. Hello, Thomas. How's it going? Axe North, I think, is the other one. So, Axe North. I'll go get the channels and share. So, this one here, the first one I'm going to show you, is a guy that does a lot of testing and explaining, like if you want to buy a hammock to go camping, what kind of hammock should you be looking for? If you want to buy a hot tent, what kind of tent should you look for, and so on. This guy is pretty cool. You can now, with the AI and stuff, you can have everything in the language you want, so I find it pretty cool. This one here, he only had like 400 subs when I started following him about maybe 3 months ago. This one here goes on a lot of river hikes and camping with his girlfriend or wife. I don't know if they're married, but they're having lots of fun together, going down rivers and fishing and stuff like that. Pretty cool. There's also Fish Eye Mike. You have to look for Michel Lamoureux. This one here is probably one of my favorite ones. And I can see that he changed a lot of his banners and stuff. A lot of more designs. And Boreal Camping, the last one I want to share. So if you're interested in camping or doing anything in the wild, these guys are all pretty amazing. Good morning, Thomas. How's it going? So I'm still waiting for confirmation, but I am now registered for my national exam in September. So around September 14th, I think that's a Sunday, I have my exam on that day. I might have an exam a couple days later. I don't know exactly when. Like there's a second part to the exam. But my intentions are staying up there for a few days. And I should be able to go for a little fishing trip with you, Thomas. Maybe you'll remember today. Yeah, it's just a matter of taking little shots or little footage of every single thing you do. And then you just put that together and do a little story. I have to take more B-rolls. I forgot. I'm working on now. It's kind of broke up. Got really sick way back in the middle of nowhere. It was kind of scary. Oh, no. I'm glad you're okay now. What happened? Did you, like, poisoning of some sort? Or was it just that you caught, like, stomach bug or yeah, happy Father's Day, everyone. That's why I have a Pepsi here. It's not because I'm drinking Pepsi in the morning. My kids, chocolate and pop. They know their dad. In my defense, I had another chocolate bar this morning and I ate it already. Awesome. That would be awesome. So over on my property here, I had well, it's not like enormous, gigantic garden, but it was still pretty big. I think it was around 18 feet wide by 36 long. But the weeds, they just took over, and I lost control. So what I have to do is simply just take out whatever I need to take out, because I have a few, what's it called? Sunchoke or something like that. Sunchokes. And I want to put them somewhere else on the property so that I don't lose them. And I have a few perennial plants growing on the edges. I have to change that. Once I can move them around on my property a little bit, I will put the tarp, black tarp, weed barrier, and I will leave it there for a few months or a few years, maybe until next spring, hoping to kill everything that's underneath, because it's just impossible to control right now. It's just crazy. Quick quack grass or whatever it is there is just going like crazy. And what I want to do is, once a tarp is on, make some little holes so that way it's easier to control the weeds, and plant strawberries there. For now, I have the community garden where I can grow some stuff, and until I lose what happened? Something fell. Oh. Yeah, and as long as I have access to the community garden, I don't really have any reason to spend like tons of time on my property trying to remove the weeds and stuff. So I will work on my food forest here and keep my garden back there. I have quince that's growing, came back from last year. I have the mulberry tree that Marilyn gave me, and seems that it's still alive. I have a hop. I have a bunch of perennials like oregano, lavender. That came back. Some of the apple trees I hair grafted actually survived, and they produced tons of flowers this year, which is pretty amazing. It was kind of cute and funny at the same time. There's one branch that was hair grafted that rooted, and it's just like the one trunk, the one stem. It's just going straight up, and it was full of flowers all around. I doubt I will have apples on that one. If I do, I will need to brace it for sure. But I will need to. I just want to let it settle, and then I will have to trim it so that it starts producing other branches. I also watched a lot of videos on grafting, and I now see easier ways to do it, and I will try. And if I succeed, I will start sharing that with you guys in the future. But even if I wanted to name the channel, it seems to me it's just a bunch of letters. But the guy doing it is awesome. Is explaining very well. I might be sharing that on my community tab at some point, because I just love the way he's doing it and the way he's explaining everything and all going in details about how to hair graft properly, why it's not working, and why it should work. That's one of the things I want to do today, is go hair graft a few apple trees. It was 10K hike with 150 pounds on me, and I got back to the lake, had to make a campfire pit, all that, and just went and got really bad sunstroke, was puking and shaking. Oh no. It's very important to have a lot of water when you go on a hike. Do you have one of those? I don't have it with me here. Filter straw, where you can just basically grab water anywhere and it filters the water for you. That would be important, especially if you go on a hike. And then if you want, you can just boil the water and you'd be all right after that. Father's Day, your day, drink the Pepsi if you want. Yeah, I have a cold one in the fridge, so I'm going to put this one in the fridge, take the cold one probably later. Good morning, Dave. How's it going? I don't see you here yet, but I can see you on the side there. I need to learn to slow down sometimes. Have ended up on the hospital with a huge stroke a few times over the years now. Yes, well, it's always a danger to happen, especially when you're working outside a lot. And I mean, we're outdoor people, so we enjoy being outside. And it's so much fun this year. My daughter enjoys fishing so much that I get to go fishing like whenever I want, and she wants to come, so it's awesome. We got up very early yesterday, around 4:30 yesterday morning. Went fishing a little bit, from 5:30 maybe to, was it around 8 o'clock? We didn't get any bites, so we decided to come back home. We'll go and do more the evening until sundown fishing instead. We have a lot more bites. We had one bite when we arrived there, and it seemed to be a pretty nice fish too, but we lost it. But it just being outside, have a little fire on the side of, like, next to the river, or the dam, I should say. It's not really a river anymore, man-made dam, but just sit there, have a little fire, relax, hear the birds, and watch the loonies and all the other type of ducks. There's nothing better. All good now. Milled all week now, and just day trips this week. And all right, yeah, you got to take care. The strawberry patch around the corner just posted they're about ready already. Well, it's true. You guys are about a week or two ahead of us. I see some small strawberries on my plants. They're still green, which means they're still growing, which is good. But those are ever-bearing strawberries, so they produce until fall. As long as we don't have cold snaps or snow, they'll keep on producing. So right now they're creating suckers, and I just let them anchor themselves in the soil, and once they have roots, I dig them out and I plant them somewhere else. So I have a bunch of free strawberry plants. Strawberries. Will there be videos from you and Tiffany? Yeah, it's always like you guys enjoy filming family stuff, and if you go strawberry picking, it is family stuff, and it's fun. And then Tiffany or you can show whatever it is that you guys do with strawberries. There's so many different recipes people enjoy seeing. There it is. Good morning, Dave, the man himself. I don't have a straw. I have a water filter set up, and I put Mio in the water for electrolytes. It does a gallon or so a minute. Works well. Nice. That's great. Once they got the fishing bug, that's all they will do. All my brother does is hunt and fish, get ready for hunt and fish. I bought a drinking straw to keep my pack, keep in my pack. It can filter 500 milliliters in 2 minutes. The strawberries are taking over along the outside of the greenhouse. It's kind of nuts not planting the greenhouse this year, though. Yeah, well, all you could do if you want to save time is go to the local nursery, just buy a few tomato plants or a few pepper plants. I'm not going to plant anything in my greenhouse either because the greenhouse has been destroyed by the strong winds we had in the spring and in the fall. But the platform is still there. All my compost is still in there. I would need to remove all the weeds. There is a little bit of weeds. And I might just need to tidy up the frame a little bit again. And I was thinking about using that spot to grow my my perennials since it's already there. I already have another spot in the back where I could put the greenhouse. The problem is I need to make one of the sides strong to make sure that the wind doesn't take it away. And the other side will have the plastic. I just need to have plastic on the south facing side. I don't need to have plastic all around. So I went to the community garden last weekend after getting up with a stomach bug. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. That's why I didn't do any live stream last weekend. Started feeling bad in the middle of the night between Thursday and Friday. It lasted for about 12 hours where I was really, really sick. And then it took like a good 48 hours to recover properly, drinking fluids, water, and you try not to drink too much, too fast, because you don't want to let it out again. But you got to stay hydrated, and then you don't want to eat too fast because you don't know if you're going to be able to hold it in or not. Saturday, we had to go get our aisle, and I had to go feed the animals on Friday. That's probably one of the hardest thing I've ever done. I had no energy whatsoever, no strength. All my muscles were, I had cramps and sore muscles. So I had to go walk to the dam to get water for my animals because my meat chickens are not here. They're on Sears property, and he doesn't have running water. All he has is the pond. And they destroyed the dam, the beaver dam, because he wants to get his road going again. And the beaver's dammed in front, like right in the middle of the road. So right now I have to walk through the woods to get to the middle of that little brook to get water. But if you've been to an old beaver dam before, you know that all there is mud. So you walk in there, you can go waist deep in the mud. So I have to be very extra careful, walk on the part of the dam that's not destroyed, and try to go at the middle and get some water and walk back. I just did the strict minimum I could do to get my animals comfortable with the food and the water. Luckily for me, the next day I was a little bit better. I was able to give them a little bit more. And by Sunday, I was feeling all right. So I will need to take a small break. I'll be back in a minute. Where is my... There it is. Oh, sorry about that. I'm back. Hi everyone, sipping coffee before beginning the day. Big day ahead. Can't wait for retirement so I would be not be so not be so in a rush. Yep. Retirement must be awesome. Happy Father's Day to all the dad of humans, but also caregivers of animals and plants. Awesome. Thank you, Marilyn. Yeah, it must be great to have time. Not only are you retired, but you live in a place where you can grow food almost all year round. While I have a full-time job and I have about 100 days of growing season. So, yeah, to continue my story, Sunday I started feeling a lot better. I fed the animals properly and did everything I had to do, and then went to the community garden and started planting my seeds. So I planted, I'd say about 500 radishes seeds, about 2,000 carrot seeds, and I know because of the size of the packs, the pack size. I planted about 200 beets. I planted the Geteokosomen squash, the blue Hubbard squash, and buttercup squash. I planted black dark zucchinis, yellow beans, peas. My Roma tomatoes are in the ground now. I also planted onions, rutabaga. The only thing missing right now are my pepper plants. And the reason they're not done yet is because I didn't have a lot of them. Oh yeah, every aisle is 165 feet long. And there's 20 aisles. There's 20 people using an aisle. Some people just take half, so they share half an aisle with someone else. You'll see in the video, I'm going to put a video soon where they made a place especially for honeybees. They have the hives and stuff. There's a spot designed only for perennial plants. There's another area where they put all the fruit trees. And there's a place where we can plant our stuff. There's also a few raised garden beds for older people or people with mobility issues. There's even 2 people in wheelchair. They have raised garden beds just at their height, which is pretty cool because, you know, it's allowing everyone to go garden. And what I enjoy about that place is not only is it really relaxing to be there, it's a beautiful place, but a lot of people go, and there's a lot of older folks that have a lot of knowledge to share. You can see all different kind of ideas about what to do in certain situations. I've seen someone put spruce branches on top of their tomato plants. And what they were telling me is by the time the needles all fall out, the plant is strong enough to absorb all the sun. By doing this, they're forcing the plant to look for sun to try to grow, and it's not being hit directly by the sun. So I guess it's working well for them. It's giving them a very healthier plant. I planted carrots this year. First time in a long time. I planted them in an empty large dog food bag. They're coming up nicely. Awesome. I'm going to save all my empty dog food bags and plant potatoes next year. Cool. That's a good idea. That's pretty cool. My potatoes, I want to go behind my dad's property I've said that before, but there's like an empty. It's not necessarily an empty field because there's a few trees that started growing there, but the owners of the property told me that it was okay. Like they just don't want me to do anything illegal or plant stuff that should not be there. Um, but to plant potatoes or to plant carrots or anything like that, it's all fine by them. So we'll get a guy to go till the land and go again next spring and mix all that soil and compost, everything together. And all we have to do is go in there and cut all the branches. Yeah, what works and is cheap. Have a great day, Marilyn. Take care. Probably talk to you later. So by next summer, if things go well, I should have a huge spot. I'm guessing that this is about, well, my dad's property is like 200 feet wide, if not more. So that area is probably like 175 feet long by maybe 50 feet wide. I would love to have all of that tilled and plant potatoes there. All I would do is plant potatoes. So it'd be it'd be a nice place to have a family little parcel of land where we could grow potatoes as a family. My parents, my dad especially, is a big potato fan. All right, thanks for garden tips. I have to take care of mine this week. Awesome. Ça va bien, Martin. I'm trying to remember all people's names. I spoke about I shared your link earlier in the chat, saying how I not only enjoy watching your videos, c'est pas juste que j'apprécie beaucoup de regarder vos vidéos, j'apprends aussi sur la façon de faire une histoire. I'm learning how to make a story with my videos. Like I watch every video you put out there, I watch them. I should know your name. It's just coffee's not down yet. J'ai pas tout fini mon café. I'm trying to remember what else I planted. I have everything that the kids love planted. I've seen someone yesterday for his peas. All he did, he took like dead branches, put them in the soil, and put some ropes around them. The sticks were holding strong enough to hold the peas, and the ropes were in a position where the peas would grow up on them. So he made a little trellis for his peas, and it didn't cost him a thing. And then he had another trellis that he made. I'm trying to remember what that was for. It was not for... Was it his tomatoes? All he did, he took some stronger branches. He put them like this, like boom. And then he put another tree on the top to hold them there. And he made trellis like that for free, basically. And I'm trying to remember what he planted there. Yeah, I went over at a friend's place yesterday. The guy has a gigantic property where his dad and himself bought a land. He has all like the beginning of the property. Like he dug a home, human-made pond, not for fish or anything, just to have biodiversity. He's got frogs and all kind of watery plants, and he goes out whatever he can get in other countries that's not invasive. He'll have it. Like specific perennial plants that grow in our zone, but not necessarily in Canada. He'll have some on his property. a bunch of trees. He has a bunch of fruit trees, and everything is just amazing. So he was able to root some grapes, and he gave me a bucket full of their cuttings, but they seemed like they were rooting. And I don't know the type, but they're white grapes, and apparently they're very, very good. He also gave me some asparagus and some sea kale, perennial kale. Potato bugs are the worst. We had a 50 by 50 foot of them, and every day after school, spent an hour to get them all by hand. It was not fun. No, there's a few. A few different healthy ways to remove them. It's just a matter of finding the information online. I'm trying to remember. I know my parents, my dad way back in the days used to put lime on them, but it's not something necessarily recommended now. I'm wondering if you put diatomaceous, struggling to say that word, but hearth, you know, the little white powder you give to your chickens. If putting that around the plants, if that would help with the potato bugs. Because once you start having them, if you don't get rid of them, they'll just keep on producing every year, and they're hard to get rid of. But I've had a few here in the past on my potatoes, and I kept killing them as soon as I saw one. But it wasn't that bad. You got to take control. You got to keep controlling them, but it's pretty hard to control. I was struggling with the cucumber beetles last year. This was back in the 90s, and my parents didn't know much. It was our first garden. We got lots though. Yeah, I remember the whole family would go in my grandparents' house, and behind the house they had this huge garden that was probably like 400 feet long by like 200 feet wide, and the whole family, uncles and aunts, were all gathering there for the day, just harvesting potatoes. My grandfather would rent like one of those big tractors that would go in and dig, like turn soil around, and then we'd go behind it and pick up all the potatoes. And that was like family thing. I don't know. I was too young to remember if they were sharing. They were probably sharing with the whole family, but my grandfather had a root cellar in the house and would put the potatoes in the basement. So whenever people needed potatoes, they could just go there and grab some. He had plum trees. He had red currants. And there's a lot of apple trees on the property. Now, I'm not going to go too much in details, but the house was brought down, well, maybe like 10 years ago, if not more. I think my grandfather passed away was in 2015, so that's already been 10 years. But it was already out of the house when that happened. They put the house down, the plum tree was gone, but the apple trees are all still there, but they're in the woods now. Like the woods grew around them. And I tried to hair graft one of them last year, and when I got there, the little plastic ball I had was, you could see the claw mark in them. There was a black bear that got to it before me. I would need to go and clean around them, but the problem is the little parcel of land where the house was, my dad traded that part of land to the neighbor because he wanted to have bigger property there. And in exchange, my dad received, because the way that it's built, my dad's property, my dad ended up with the property, that the land, 75 acres. It's kind of parallel to the street where my dad lives, but there's another parcel of land in between. So he exchanged that part where the house was with another part, like almost in front of my dad's house. So my dad has access to his land without having to go all the way around. So it was a win-win situation for both of them. My dad can go and cut his firewood, and he has access to his land now. I know he was planning on signing the land to my younger brother, and he said he wanted to do that soon. So I'm guessing, I mean, it could be done by now. I don't know. None of my business. But either way, I could go hair graft a few apple trees, and I could go and clean up a few of those apple trees. I also asked, there's a house that was my father's brother. I'm not going to call him an uncle anymore, but he built a house right next to my grandfather's house, and then he moved away. So the house is still there, someone else living in it. So basically that person owns just a little regular parcel of land with the house. And I asked them if I could go behind the house, if I could park there to go have a little garden back there. And they told me that it was fine. So I could also go back there, put a big black tarp, weed barrier, cut all the weeds, and then go and plant some stuff. But I don't have to with the community garden, with the place I'll have behind my parents' house. Plus, I still have some space here for more fruit trees. So no need to go there yet. I just wish my brother wants to keep everything the way it is, and it's his land, so there's nothing I can do, because he wants to go hunting and grouse go in apple trees. So he wants to go hunt grouse, but there's like so many apple trees around that he could use. I just wish that he would let me clean up around those apple trees a little bit. And he's like, well, everyone's just going to go and eat apples. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At least they're going to be there. If someone eats the apples, like, I don't mind. It's not like I invested $10,000 worth of trees there, you know? They're growing wild. If I had land with a bunch of apple trees like this, I would clean up around the apple trees, and I would make sure that I have access to them. I would prune the trees, and I would have a nice place to go harvest apples. That's what I'm trying to do here. I want to have an orchard here, not necessarily have thousands of apple trees, not for the whole community, but if I could at least have some for me and my family, obviously. You know, if the kids want to go out and grab some apples, they could go out and grab apples. I have Macintosh. I think I have, they're called Jonah Golden or something like that. They're like some variety of Golden Delicious. I have Red Delicious, 2 different trees of Red Delicious. I love those apples. Plus, I'll have a bunch of wild apple trees in the back that I don't know what kind of apples I'm going to get. I think I have one of them that would be Golden Delicious. If I remember correctly, one of them rooted. But the other ones, I mean, I hair grafted all the apple trees around that I knew were good, either for pies or for jelly, or you know, if there's a way to use the apples, I tried to hair graft those apple trees. Thing is, not all of them survived, and I don't know which ones survived and which ones did not. It's not a big deal. I mean, when they grow and start producing in about 10 years from now, they'll have apples, and I'll know which ones I got. Until then, I mean, I don't mind. I can always graft more branches on them if I need to. If you want to learn about fruit trees, Stefan Sobkowiak is the one to go. He was on my live stream about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago maybe, talking about how to properly grow fruit trees. Yeah, there's so much you can make with apples. Apple sauce, apple cider vinegar, pies. You can can them and use them later. it's a fruit, and if it spreads, so be it. Even it's the same thing with my strawberries. If they spread all over, I don't care. They're strawberries. They're fruits. All that's going to happen is I'm going to go out and have more fruits. My raspberries are growing crazy. I don't care. I don't care. It's free food. I go in the fall and I harvest about a cup of raspberries per day for about a month. Um, the only thing I'm going to remove are the black currants because, well, I don't like black currants. Taste in French, I think they're called cassis. Uh, I find they taste like puke. I don't like them. I'm going to replace them with either red or white, or maybe even honeyberries. I make apple wine when we drank. We don't anymore drink. That is okay. Apple wine must be awesome. I've had blueberry wine. I've had honeyberry wine. I did my own wine last year, and it was with choke cherries, blueberries, strawberries, and rhubarb, and it was pretty cool. The wine was so good. I drank 12 bottles in 2 weeks. Well, not just me alone, but that's how fast it went. And it was about 17% alcohol. I tried to plant 2 pear trees 4 years ago, and they both died. I don't know why. I'm struggling with that too. Pear trees seem to be not as resistant to pests for some reason. Um, Something I learned also is if you plant trees, fruit trees, try not to plant them too close to each other. Uh, the idea would be to plant maybe pear tree, maybe an apple tree, and then another plum tree, and then go with your pear tree. Ne pas les avoir collés. Si tu mets d'autres fruitiers entre, tu limites les chances qu'ils peuvent se partager des maladies si tu n'en perds un. If you spread them a little bit, you have less chances of the trees sharing diseases. I have one left. I had 3 last year. 2 of them died last year, and it seems like they died from the same disease. So I don't know. They it's like the leaves just became dry, and the tree just died after. I have the start of a blackberry patch on my property that I didn't plant. Probably the birds helped, but I'll take it. Yeah, one bush is producing fruits this year. There will be more. Nice. Yeah, it is nice. I bought some a couple years back. I had that in a pot, and I just left it in a pot for like 2 years before I decided to plant it. It was a thornless blackberry plant. I think I still have it back there. Angie from Inu Acres gave me some as well. Some of them survived. My girlfriend's cousin had a few ones that he gave me last year. Apparently, they should be creating roots and coming out soon, but I still didn't see anything from them. They're not spreading the way I was hoping they would spread. So I don't know if they might be in bad soil, but I guess they would still grow, just not as big. Ouais, c'est qu'il y en a un qui pogne une maladie, les chances sont que ça va propager. So the thing is, try not to plant them too close. But at the same time, I have a bunch of apple trees. They're pretty close, and they're not giving me issues. So apple trees are a little bit more resistant than pears. Yeah, my plum trees are still alive. I'm gonna have some Saskatoon berries this year. Honeyberries are already there. I'm sure I could go out and eat some right now. I need to plant lettuce. You're welcome. I have gooseberries, red and white currants. I also have black currants, but like I said, I'm gonna move them away. Um, I have a few apple trees that produce flowers. Hopefully, they will produce apples. My cherries are growing. I think all my gooseberries are going to produce gooseberry fruits this year. What else? My goji berries survived, which is pretty awesome. I have two chums, which is an hybrid of cherries and plums. They survived. So hopefully this year they flowered, so they'll be able to produce some fruits. I'm hoping so anyway. Um, Everything else, my grapes are growing like crazy right now. So hopefully they produce as well. I had Concord grapes, but tornado tore all down. Oh no. I keep looking to see if anything is coming back. I missed them. Um, you don't have any. If you have anything at all that's still alive in the ground, give it a lot of compost. A lot. The grapes are very very heavy feeders. Um, I had a friend that just literally was throwing chicken manure at the back of his property, and he didn't realize that he had thrown one of his grapevine, thinking it was dead, in the forest back there as well. And like 2 years later, he realized, well, not even 2 years later, it was the same year. The vine was like alive and well and going crazy. So grapes are very, very heavy feeders. Good morning, Wild Edibles. How's it going? My grape keeps dying back. Once established, they should stay alive, but they need to have full sun. And like I said, they're very, very heavy feeders. Comes up from the bottom. So that could be an issue where they either don't have enough sun or they don't have enough compost. You can, like, don't be shy. You can take rabbit manure and spread it around them. They actually grew wild in the woods, but I can do that. Just throw some in there. Yeah. If that's something I want to do, is take the chicken manure that I have in my chicken coop and just go and spread it all around my grapevines. It will make them go crazy. I'm trying to remember what else I have. Like I said earlier, my quince is still alive. My mulberry is still alive. My hop. I have some American hazelnut. I had two of them. One of them died. I ordered them from a nursery on the Quebec side there, Pépinière Ancestrale. I find they have decent prices. Shipping is a little bit expensive, but it's expensive everywhere nowadays. And if you make a big order, you end up saving on the long run. Or if you live nearby, you can go grab stuff there on your own. I have some sea buckthorn berries. They seem to be doing well. I also have some blueberries. Some of them are producing. I need to find some sulfur pellets and put the pellets in the ground to acidify my soil. Yeah, if you put poop around it, and the thing is, grapes they're not like strawberries or apple trees, where if you put soil around the trunk, you could kill it. There's no crown on grapevines. You can just go and put manure around them. The more manure they get, the bigger they'll grow and the faster they'll grow. Yep, honeyberries, gooseberries, and currants. That's awesome. Happy for you. Mines are doing great also. The only thing that is struggling right now is my elderberries. The trees are still there. They're still alive, but it's like they're not growing. They've been this tall for the last 3 years. and they're doing just like your grapes. They seem to be dying off every year, and then there's a new little growth every year. I think I know why though. Like I think I have poor soil back there. Hey Sel, how's it going? Long time no talk. You're off today? Are you going to say more? You're at work, so you're not even off. Oh, I noticed that you fixed your little Suzuki back there. I'm be careful what I say. I don't want to say Jeep because it's not a Jeep, so I learned that from you. Your little Suzuki, is it working, or you're just keeping it for spare parts? Also, Selge has some of those apple trees that I was talking about earlier, where I think he plans on cleaning around them. It's just time consuming, and it doesn't have time to do it. So I think at some point I might have time to just take my weed brush cutter and go there, at least make a trail to make it to the apples, just for parts. Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to go harvest those apples all year round. Well, you're not going to harvest them all year round, but to have access to them coming this week for real, or just in July. Would you yet? Month of July. Yeah, that's the thing. They are a lot more toxic. And from what I understand, a lot of people say they're not edible, and some people say they are. But I guess they could be edible, but there's a specific way to prepare them. And since I'm not used to them at all, I don't want to try anything that could, potentially hurt me. Maybe today. Okay. Is that to go around your apple trees? Like you want to go clear out around the apple trees? And then it'd be a lot easier to prune them. As long as you don't go more than 1/3 of the tree, I'm sure pruning them would benefit your trees a lot. They would have more sun, not as much diseases. They would also start producing more fruits. I wanted to go and check around if there was like tiny new growth, new apple trees growing, but if you're going with bushwhacker, I might not be able to do what I wanted to do. I don't know why. I thought last year when I went there, I had like 3 branches hair grafted. And when I went in the fall with Anthony, I was only able to find 1 or 2. So there might be another branch somewhere hair grafted, unless one of the bears got it and ran away with it. That's also a possibility. I would not eat them. Higher cyanide, I believe, that is in them. It can be destroyed by freezing and cooking, but not so much with the red ones. They have higher levels. Yeah, check for new trees. And I could also go on my dad's property, also check for wild apple trees. And the guy in front here, when you get out of my street, the little orchard that's there, there's probably a bunch of new growth there as well, but he doesn't want anyone going there. On my dad's land, there's probably a few ones growing that would be small enough for me to harvest and bring home. Worst comes to worst, I could always just graft new branches on them. Now that I know what to do, it'd be a lot easier. I also want to go look behind the old school. I know there's some back there, but it's bear country. I don't know why. I've never been bothered by bears before. For some reason now, whenever I go somewhere, they're right there. but then again, I've never really been looking for them. Where we go fishing, I wanted to go camp there. I wanted to do some camping, and the guys tell me that every day they see a bear. The same bear hangs around, either because he's not afraid of humans anymore, or because it's a cub from last year, that got separated by the mother and he doesn't really have a territory yet, so he just stays around. I've seen it on the first day. Haven't seen him since, but some people say that they see him around often. There's poop, and I saw some tracks last time I went there. So I would love to go camp there, but I don't know. I would need to have a little protection. There's also, I will be doing some air grafting today and hopefully be able to clear out the grass a little bit around my grapevines. My kiwis are doing great. They're also heavy feeders that can grow up to 10 feet. I think it's even more than that. I've seen they can grow up to 16 feet or 10 feet. 12. No way. They can grow pretty big in a year. So I'm hoping this year when it starts heating up, they'll start growing. There has been bears around here this year. Been hearing they're out all over. Yeah, and I think one of the reasons for that is because in the past, a lot of people from around the world, hunters, were coming to New Brunswick to hunt. And with everything that happened 5 years ago, all restrictions that were put in place, a lot less people were able to come. I'm not saying that this is the only difference, but if you remove 200 bears from the map every year and suddenly those bears stay there for 2 years in a row, those bears multiply, and they make a lot more bears. Lots of bears everywhere. It seems sad because they have no more places to go and they are trying to find food and mixing in with people in the suburbs and even near cities. Yeah. It'd be a lot easier to have them mix with us if they were not trying to eat us. I see bears every year, and it seems that in the last couple of years, I've seen a lot more than ever before. Raccoons again got my squat seedlings. Oh no, that's not fun. And good morning, Jane. Yeah, there's a lot of bears. I drive from work to Dalhousie, where I had an appointment, and I saw like 4 bears on my way there on the side of the highway around this time last year. Bears are edible. Yes, they are. Unfortunately, rather not have dumb bears though. Yeah, well, they say that the bears in the spring are a lot better. They taste better because they didn't eat. But bears are actually omnivores, so they eat a lot of meat, but they also eat a lot of vegetables or plants or vegetation is the word I was looking for. And hunting season ends in about 10 days here. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to... I find that by the time my gardening season is done and fishing season is done, and I have time for hunting, the hunting season is almost done. Lots of plants in the spring. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the bear, when he goes into hibernation, he will... I'm sorry if you're eating breakfast right now, but they will poop, but leave their poop as a butt plug, so that when they go in hibernation, they don't have any bugs or rodents going through their anus. And when they get out of hibernation in the spring, they will look for tree sap or stuff like that because it's liquid. They will drink more to try to get that out. So that's why a lot of the bear hunters in the spring will actually put like grease and vegetable oil and stuff like that around because it smells a lot and the bears will lick it to help with the poop. And after this is done, they still have to get their intestines flowing again. So they need like a more liquid diet for a few days when they get up. And then they can start eating again. So when they get out of hibernation would be the best time to get them because, well, they're basically stomach free. I have a rabbit in my yard and it's crazy because it doesn't go near my garden at all. I think last year someone near me let their pet rabbit go. It doesn't run away even from the dog. Huh. Rabbits like weeds more than veggies usually. Yeah, and if they have clover around, clover, they'll just go after the clovers. And dandelion leaves and things like that. Yeah, makes sense. Mine get out at times. I don't usually eat too much. They might take the top off my peas. Makes sense. They could probably eat the carrot leaves. But as long as they don't eat the carrots, you got nothing to worry about. I'm trying to remember if I have anything else. I have rhubarb coming. I should actually go. I need to remove it from where it is right now because it's growing in the middle of my raspberry patch. And I will lose it if I don't do anything to change it. Leave that around my garden. They like it. Yeah. I am pretty sure I have wild carrots around here, but they're easy to misidentify. So I try to avoid them unless I was really, really, really stuck. And my coffee is done. So yeah, I have some editing to do, and I have some animal feeding, and probably go to the community garden this week at some point. Also start hair grafting some more apple trees. Thank you. Yep, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And yeah, I'm gonna go now and talk to you guys later. Hopefully I'll have some videos coming back there. I've been lazy lately. I think I have like 5 videos out since Christmas. That's not enough. If I wanna make a little bit of money off YouTube, and if I want to get the algorithms going, I need to get to it. Now you know why. Now if there's too many rabbits, you could eat everything. Yeah, of course. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.